a person who's a bookstore owner. He was selling books that like apparently the Chinese government doesn't like, and technically speaking, he never leave Hong Kong. But after a while, like he disappeared in Hong Kong, and after a while he appeared in China. But technically, he never leave Hong Kong.
At this place, we deserve a voice in what our working conditions look like.
Yeah.
To have a better understanding on what is the extradition law and why it caused a protest in Hong Kong, we had a conversation with Kaze, our PhD student in physics and astronomy. What is the difference between China and Hong Kong governing system, and how's the dynamic between these two?
It's a very complicated story, but I'll try to elaborate shortly. So the background is like Hong Kong was a British colony until like 1997. It was returned to China, and then the Chinese government promised to be like we'll hold you for everything unchanged for 50 years. We take that. I mean, this is something called one country, two system. And if you ask people who's from Hong Kong, like me, like, where are you coming from? We tell you, we're from Hong Kong. It's basically because we used to be a British colony, so like we have their system, and we have like our own currency. But like when we returned, like many people would fear, Chinese government would just like take us another city in China. So they make that promise like 50 years unchanged, one country, two systems. And they allow us to keep our own judicial system, keep our own currency, use our own languages, have our own passport. So that's the like very practical difference between how China is different from Hong Kong is different from China. Culturally speaking, I mean we speak very different language. I mean it's not like if I haven't learned Mandarin, I cannot communicate with people from England. And many people are using our language. It's a language. It's not a dialect.
How the extradition law will affect people of Hong Kong?
Like very practically speaking, I don't think they're gonna prosecute the law right on me. Right? I'm a nobody like hanging around, and like even though I go back to Hong Kong, like they won't call me and ship me back to China and extract my organ or something. That like they won't do immediately, at least. But there is a fear. There is such a fear will drive people away, because basically the law can be prosecuted on anyone inside Hong Kong. It's not just Hong Kong citizen. Let's say you're an American citizen. You just transiting in Hong Kong airport. They can catch you, ship you back to China, and prosecute their China law on you. Like which you're not a Hong Kong citizen. You're like doing anything wrong in Hong Kong. There's this fear. Will they do it or not? Like that's another question. But there's the fear that like they can do it in principle. So that drives people. That's already driven people away. And like money is flowing out from Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is wealthy and because of trading. And there's many international firms reside in Hong Kong and basically as a base of their business in the Asian Pacific region. But like if you drive the money away from Hong Kong, then economically, of course, that will plunge. And like Hong Kong is pretty sensitive to the international market. I'm not like an economist, but like I can see the difference. Like Hong Kong economy has been it takes some hits. It's not like it devastated now, but like it definitely takes some hits. And if the law passed, it would definitely encourage people to go away. Like maybe move to Singapore or some other places in Asia, which people still trust the judicial system there.
Do you think the law kind of also aimed at political activists?
Yes, definitely. I mean, so China is already like kidnapping people from Hong Kong back there in the past few years. Okay. There's an incident like in the region in Hong Kong, like a person who's a bookstore owner. He was selling books that like apparently the Chinese government doesn't like, and technically speaking, he never leave Hong Kong, but after a while, like he disappeared in Hong Kong, and after a while he appeared in China. But technically, he never leave Hong Kong, legally. So who knows what happened, And I detained, never get trial for a long time, and like after a while he come back to Hong Kong successfully. So there's already such cases, and now the extradition law is kind of like an excuse for them to just take whoever they want. Like after the law, we're just afraid that all of our freedom, because like if I say something that the Chinese government doesn't like, then they would just take us back, put you in camp. And
Who is Carrie Lam?
Lam is the chief executive of Hong Kong. She's basically so in Hong Kong there's still separation of power. You have the court, you have the legislative council, you have the chief executive. And Carrie
Is that like the president? Like, if you want to compare that with here.
Yeah, sort of. Like it's almost like the role of Trump, kind of. And you have the capital, you have the Senate and all these things. Those are separate, all right? In China, it's not separate. The court is like kind of an extension of like the power of the party. And in Hong Kong, they're separate. So yeah, Carrie Lam is the chief executive, like who propose how law should be made, and it's basically one of the biggest lawmakers.
Do people elect her, or is she elected by?
She's we're like citizen. Normal citizen doesn't have don't have the right to elect her directly. We don't have like the votes to vote on her directly. She's she's elected by like small party, small community, which is like constructed in a very complicated way. But basically, like a normal citizen, like me, like normal student, would not have a vote on like who do we want to pick.
What does the suspension of the extradition law mean?
It means it can come back like next Monday. It means like practically nothing. Like like the fear is still there. Like they can bring it back, revive it anytime they want.
What is umbrella movement?
The umbrella revolution is basically like 5 years ago, the Hong Kong people trying to ask for the right to vote for our chief executive. Like everyone should have a vote to like making it more fair. But that didn't go well. And people have been arrested. I mean, like they tear gas us.
The tear gas. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like 5 years ago compared to this time, the violence like that police use, the force that police use is still considered relatively. It is less. Like they used less force last time, but this time is really bad.
The timing of the second protest coincide with release of Joshua Wong.
Right.
Who is he?
Joshua Wong is he was a student leader 5 years ago in an umbrella revolution. That's what we call it.
How do you see the future of the current protests?
It's very uncertain. I cannot make like a definite prediction. I can hope for a good result. I mean, like withdrawing the extradition law, it's something that I really want to see because like people have sacrificed so much. People have been beaten. There are protesters being detained now and potentially charged with the name of riot. But like all of these causes are like originally pointing to withdraw the law. So that will be like my hope that this will go through. But like I cannot really trust or think of or predict what this government will do. I mean, there's no people don't have the power now to bargain with the government. Like people don't have the direct power. You may think 2 million on the street is huge.
It is huge.
Hong Kong has like 7 million, or like depending on who you ask, you can say 8 million people. So it's like 1/4 of the population on street, like protesting, and they can still ignore this.
How can we help?
So for people in Western countries or like other countries, if you care about human rights, this is one of the issues. I mean, there's also other active issues that I don't want to like neglect. I mean, those are also important. Like in Sudan, there's like this massacre going on. We should also pay attention to this. I mean, like, but if you care about human rights, like Hong Kong is also one of the places that human rights are being, like basic human rights are being threatened right now. So if you care, spread the news, discuss it, and spread the news and discuss it. I think that's the that's the reasonable thing to ask for, I think.
Okay, that's great. Kaze, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you want to know more about the protest that is going on in Hong Kong, Vox channel made a great video that explaining that why it started. I put a link of that in the description. I also put a link to some articles that I found interesting. Also, BBC has a really short documentary about thought transformation camps in China, and it successfully transformed any positive thought that I had about this guy. Grad student community, or in general student community at Hopkins, is very diverse, and to be honest, we all not know enough about each other's cultures and or like the struggles that the countries are going through. So TRU decided to have a video series that is basically getting to know each other. So if you are from a culture, from a race, from a religion, from a gender, or from a country that think that there are topics that should be talked about them, but they are not being talked about right now, and you want to share that with other students, let us know. Email us or message us in the Facebook, and let us know that you want to talk about those topics, and we can start having conversation, recording those videos and post it so other people can engage and know those topics too. Okay, I think the music is my cue to shut up, so hoping to hear from you.